It's the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. The gang's all here. Got a fantastic crowd in the house. We've got a super show coming up. Peter Dacos, the one and the only, joining us behind the bar. Chris Judd going to join us. Well, been another huge week, lads.
Has it ever? What's the biggest story for mine?
Where are you starting?
Well, retirements have been de rigueur again, and some huge names exiting.
We'll get onto those.
We'll have a chat about that on the way through. But the first coach loses his job for 2017. Rodney Eade departs the Gold Coast Suns.
Yeah, a bit rude on the eve of his 93rd birthday. They didn't even give him a chance to...
The sensitivity.
I mean, at least could have given him a chance to give those players one last spray.
One last spray.
A bit sad he didn't get the opportunity to address the players on the way out.
Well, it is. Of course, Gary Ablett missed the announcement with general soreness anyway, so it doesn't matter. I don't think he was...
You know, the stress, I think, had been getting to Rocket for some time.
Yeah?
We got some footage of him here before his very first game. And, Gary's actually waiting for that bed too, which is, you know, that wasn't looking good from the get-go, was it?
No.
Did you ever think it was a great fit? Seriously, did you think it was a great fit between Rocket and the Gold Coast?
Can I be totally honest?
Oh, for once, yeah.
No,
With all due respect to Rodney Eade, who's a wonderful, wonderful coach, I don't think it was. I don't think it was the right.
I don't either. I don't even think by the end Rocket was even barracking for the Gold Coast Suns. But I always felt that he didn't really feel quite part of the family. You know what I mean? There was many examples, but I'll just show you one here of the media manager, Steve Wilson, here after Rocket's press conference earlier this year. I just on the left of the screen goes to give him a little pat on the back, and then I'm thinking. Ooh.
The good news for the Gold Coast is you need strong leadership to get you through turbulent times.
Very true.
And they have that at the very top with their president, Mr Cochrane,
Tony Cochrane,
who has the skills, no doubt, to navigate them through this torrid time.
You've got to dig in when the going gets tough. And the tough's, you know, it doesn't get any tougher, I promise you. I don't sit around a board table with this club going, oh, packet of lollies here.
As I said, no need to panic. It's all under control up there at the Gold Coast.
Turbulent times, you want a steady hand at the wheel.
That's it.
Hey, look, coaching it's a stressful pursuit. We know that. And Rodney had his moments where he pushed it right to the edge. And I think it's important that coaches have the ability to release. And Leon Cameron has known a few frustrations this year. Well, he got it completely wrong here. I mean, he needed to vent, and he did, but he punched the frame of the door. I mean, that was a shocking error from a man who should know better, I would say.
That is amateur hour. That is unbelievable.
What's he done wrong?
I was a bit surprised considering he was an assistant under the great Alistair Clarkson. Do you know what I mean? So if you see with Alistair here, there's just three general rules. You know what I mean? You avoid the frame, open the hand. Look at that. Nothing but plaster. That's what you want.
Yeah, true.
I like it. Hey, can I, I'd like to drop a bomb. Can I break some huge news? I know this isn't my thing.
What are you doing?
Go, but right now,
this isn't in the run.
On the front bar, I'd like to drop some very big news, and it affects everyone in the league, but specifically Richmond fans. I'd like to be the first here to announce that I have it on good authority that Dusty will be re-signing, and in fact has re-signed at Richmond.
Whoa! That is massive.
Thank you.
What? That is massive news.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you're going with, eh?
Yep.
Well, where did you get that from?
Okay, so a mate of mine has a mate who was talking to Dusty about his car, right?
Okay, right. Yeah.
Which needed repairs.
Okay.
And they was trying to toss up whether he should get it repaired or not because it was going to cost a lot of money. And then, according to this mate of my mate, Dusty said, don't worry about it, mate, because I'm getting a new Jeep next year anyway. We'll lock it in. That is as surefire as it gets.
That is roll gold. That's roll gold if you ask me.
That's official, isn't it?
That's official.
So that's from Dustin Martin's mechanic.
Well,
and you know how trustworthy mechanics are. I hate to burst your bubble.
What?
I'll drop a bombshell. I heard that without a doubt that he is on his way to GWS.
And who'd you hear that off?
From a greater authority than his mechanic, his tattooist. So his tattooist told me, and you know how tight they are.
You know what? The only thing his tattooist needs to be worrying about? Finding a spot for Dusty's premiership tattoo for 2017. That's where we're heading, boys.
We told you last week that it was going to be round 20 signalled a very, very big week for the Richmond Football Club, and it didn't quite pan out perfectly, but you are in the top 4 and it's all happening. And Richmond supporters, they are very up and about and a very happy lot of
and we know you're at the game because I always defend you, mate. I always say to people that you are actually what you see is what you get.
A man of the people.
Man of the people. You're a lovable larrikin, and if you're at the footy, go up and say hello to Mickey because he's so approachable. Look at that.
That's an optical illusion. That is
a second stink eye.
Okay, he was shitting me. No, he wasn't. I didn't even know who he was.
That is unbelievable.
That was not. That's how I go to the footy.
It was a bit annoying for those of us who are watching on the telly because it ceased to become about the game of football out on the MC. It'll becoming about you. I mean, look at the carry.
I can't help it if
the carry on at the end of the game.
Tell you what, mate. Can I just say, Richmond worked hard that day, but none harder than your top button on that shirt. The thing is,
how dare you?
I'm so sorry.
How dare you?
Mate. Did that, looking at that image, did it remind of strangely familiar, that image? I don't know.
It looked very familiar, Andy, and I think I'm just trying to think, what did it remind me of? Oh, that's right, it reminded me of this guy. Yeah.
Who? Your uncle?
So many things to say there. Who's got the worst haircut, by the way? But anyway,
one thing. Sorry, go on.
Can I just say one thing about the guy on the right, not Mickey, the other guy? According to his Wikipedia page, he once kicked 27 goals in a game.
He's a very good player. One of the fallouts from that vision has been the fact that people, like you said, Mick was a man of the people. That's so people thought. But a lot of people have wanted to take you to task for wearing a suit to the footy. You reckon you ponced it up a little bit, that you've lost touch with the common man, that you're not who you once were. You've had a bit of success with your radio show. You've got the lovely lady on the arm, that you've changed a little bit.
It's the only time I've been out in public in a suit without my lawyer. Yes. No, it's not. It is not. I do everything in a suit. That's just me going about my daily business. This is here I am playing squash. So that's just me going about the business as you do. When I work out, I like to head down there for good times. You got to watch your weight, fellas. You got to watch your weight. And here I am. I don't. Look, that's actionable.
Yeah, that's the one that no one's surprised with. The last one.
That's penny.
It's real footage.
While the Tigers are on the up, that game did signal a bit of a turn.
Well, it did. Can I tell you this? What? You know, at the end of that game, when I do have my hands up,
we're pretty happy about Richmond's big win.
And I'm celebrating. I am not celebrating a Richmond win.
What?
I'm celebrating Hawthorn out of the finals.
Big week.
The whole competition should be very grateful that we did it. We predicted this back in week 6.
Mark Knight.
Round 6, after 4 losses in the row, we said they were cooked. Mark Knight came in and we put the first nail in the coffin. Hawthorn fans have actually dirtied up this week. Did you see them? They ripped down the Lee Matthews statue out the front of the MCG. Yeah, they did. I'm going, oh, come on, fellas, you've got to settle. You've got to settle down.
Not used to not being there.
They haven't taken it well.
I mean, that's something Richmond did on behalf of everyone in the league.
Well done.
And Hawthorn are out of the finals, and it's a great thing. And can I just say, everybody, Vale Hawthorn! Yes! Let's go! Pop that! Hey, oh, look, it's a man!
Go Hawks!
Hawthorn in the finals!
We're going to get a break out of the way here on the front bar. Rich Judd one tapped here in Australia. We are so blessed. I thought we were lucky last week to have Lee Matthews and Malcolm Blight on the show. Well, one of the greats in the modern game, 250 games, 549 goals, Hall of Famer, Greek team of the century. He has done it all in his unbelievably illustrious career from the Collingwood Football Club. Please
Come on.
welcome Peter Dacos. Everybody. Lovely to have you, Dave.
Thanks for swinging by. Obviously, we're all fans of yours and remember your mercurial work, but this bloke here is particularly a fan, and he believes, what do you always say to me? He's left out of the conversation for greatest player of the modern era.
Nicky, I genuinely believe that people forget when they all name their best players ever, that they forget about Dakes. And you just listed all his achievements.
Only half of, not even half of
including the Greek team of the century, which is apparently to get into that, you still need to be living at home with your parents, so that's a good The thing is, though, mate, Dakes,
Yes, Sammy.
do you think that you're underrated in terms of a historical sense, Dakes, or are you comfortable?
I'm comfortable where I sit. I just want to... Is this free?
Dakes.
You're joking.
Off you go, mate.
That's
Off
rich.
you go.
And this actually works,
That
does it?
actually works.
It does, mate.
That's rich coming from you. You haven't had cash on you since about 1975, have you? Mate, you're still involved in the game, aren't you, of course?
Oh, yeah, more so with my boys. So, Josh and my young boy Nick. So, yeah, second semi-final. And Tony Free's involved.
Oh, wonderful.
You'd be happy to know
former
Nick.
Richmond champion.
So
Great
involved
club
with the boys.
No, we'll have a chat
Good
about
on you,
the
mate.
young fellas and their status in the game in a moment. But we wanted to have a quick chat here off the top because there's a bloke running around at the moment for the Adelaide Crows, formerly of the Carlton Footy Club, by the name of Eddie Betts, who's doing things on a weekly basis that we never thought we'd ever see another player do after you, Dakes. He's kicking goals that for
From
mere
all points
mortals,
of the ground.
they're impossibilities, Mick.
In the style of the great Peter Dacos.
So this is the goal of the year from last year. The next one we're going to see was the goal of the year from the previous year.
Fluke.
This one, though, Dakes, that's not a bad one, mate.
Come on, mate.
Now tell me you meant that. Seriously.
How highly do you rate... I mean, you watch a lot of footy. How highly do you rate what he's doing?
Look, what can I say that hasn't already been said? But he's pretty special, though.
Pretty special.
I mean, he's not... a lot of those goals are very unorthodox and I don't think he plans too much of it. So, very hard to go past the moment.
I think you're being modest. If we have a look at some of your highlights, Dakes, have a look at this, mate. You didn't even need hands, mate. Look at that. Didn't even bother.
Unbelievable.
Did not even bother. Murray, you would have called him.
Mate, this was the best... Dakes, I swear, I think this is the best goal I've ever seen. Terry Kiesel, he puts you over the front row, puts you in the front row. That pocket is a deep pocket. I still think that's the best goal I've just about ever seen in my life.
This is what started everything, mate. And that final against West Coast up there. There it is there. Mate, have a look at that.
I know you've been asked this a million times, but that last one in the final against the Eagles, is that a kick? That kick from that angle, did you practice that a lot, or was that just the instinct of all of the hours you'd spent kind of mucking around with the footy and kicking those goals coming to fruition?
Well, I reckon there was a pattern to all those goals, and I'll be really honest to you, because the first thought was to centre the ball. Yeah. And not for a split nanosecond did I think about doing that. But look, if I had to sort of replay it, I mean, how many would you get? I don't know, but
come on.
They went in. They went in, and that'll do me. They didn't show the ones I missed, but they tended to show the better ones.
Hey, how do you think you'd go by today's standards if you're slotted into the Collingwood starting 22? I went to this game last week. This is a Collingwood v North. Oh. Now this is an Etihad Stadium with the roof on. I'm in the Medallion Club, which is behind glass. I've got a beer, and I left this ground at half time. And that's perfect operating
Look at that.
procedure.
Did you have a suit fitting? How bad was that game?
They say the modern games come on in leaps and bounds. It's a better game and it gets better and better and better. I know the modern day player is a greater, probably a more supreme athlete, but do you think the game is actually better? And that was a bad example.
So, I mean, if you were training 7 days a week, well, I clearly think you can condition yourself to run and play the game. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, there's, I suppose, you know, you get... And I think we had our shortcomings when we were sort of running around. I think, if anything, one of the things I'd get rid of is the efficiency rule, because I reckon it makes the players more kick 15 metres, you know, to keep their efficiency up, and that's probably made more for a shorter game that way. But having said that, I mean, it is what it is. They do a mountain of running, and you know, that's where she sits.
It's a tough game to watch, Mickey, like you said, but I was watching it at home, and at least the Channel 7 commentary team did their best to keep the energy up and things positive.
Gee, at the moment, it's an untidy game. Untidy, it's not been pretty. Things just haven't been right tonight.
Let's be honest, this has been a shocker. I think we're dancing around it. This is just an absolute shocker tonight.
Finally got there.
As I told you, I left at half-time. As I was leaving, I'd wish Brodie Grundy had pinned my arms and slammed my head into the surface so I could not remember anything I'd seen previously that night. There's the luckiest man in the stadium. Ben Brown.
Yeah, lucky.
His hair saved him here. Bang. There it was.
Tell you what, can I just say, as you can see, I've been keeping an eye on the commentary.
Have you?
Yeah,
You have.
absolutely.
Right.
And as a general rule, I think everyone's in great form.
Right.
Although I will say this, the message to Brian Taylor, friend of the show.
Yep.
I think...
We love BT.
We do love BT, but I think there are times when just too much information about a player's family is too much.
Right.
Mum Carey will be watching on today. Jeff will be here. Sister Demi, of course, the partner of Mitch Duncan. Another sister, I think, is a dancer on a cruise ship.
Dancer on a cruise ship.
That really is roaming, Brian. He gets out there, doesn't he? How do you work that out?
The other thing I'd say, can I just say, I'm a little bit sick and tired. I think, for the football public watching. Let me get there. Relax, mate. Sick and tired of commentators over-analysing the game and getting technical and putting us in twists with their verbal gymnastics. I'm talking about the showdown last week, and there was a fight that broke out.
Yep.
And have a listen to Fox Footy's Mark Bushudo over-analyse this. How can you follow that? How do you follow that?
Seconds later, he actually appeared on the ground and got involved in that fight. That's as happy
Haven't
as...
spared the chariots on Rashudo. That's not the first time on this show that you've had a crack at
You've had
Mark
a few
Rashudo.
cracks at Mark Rashudo over the journey. Can I tell you, I've invited him onto this program and I think he's coming on in a couple of weeks.
Hey,
We'll
I tell you,
see.
the bloke behind the bar knew a bit about kicking torpedoes, and this is your favourite time of the week.
Mate, here it is. Dakes, you've got to sit through your first torp of the week, I'm afraid. Here we go.
The trophy.
There's the trophy. Let's start with one from Dakes. We had a few we could have chosen from Dakes, but here's one. This is typical Dakes. Look at the form. Bang, outside 50, and that just sails through.
Punched it low, Mickey.
Mike's effortless.
You've punched that through, haven't you? You haven't over-egged it. It hasn't sailed through over the top. That is just pure dynamism, if that's a word. Is that a word?
You didn't try and...
That'll do me.
Dates, you looked like you knew what you're doing and you didn't try and overkick it. Is that the key to the torpedo?
Well, there is a technique to it. I mean, the rolling of the foot, you know, getting the roll the foot, you know, clipping the ball.
When did you make
the
the
underbelly
choice?
of the ball to give it a bit of a clip? But it's all technique.
When would you make the choice to I'm going to torp this? When would that go? When do you decide this is good to go?
Probably
This has got
Thursday.
torpedo.
Probably.
Hey, we got a couple of nominees. So you're our guest judge.
You're going to judge
We
these.
got a couple of nominees from.
I've selected what I believe to be three outstanding torpedoes from 100 or two that have been seen.
So the first one that's come through to us is from Kai Abram and Brad.
Kai Abram's a big ground, by the way. Have a look at this, and boom, shakalaka.
Brad Edwards.
This one takes off.
That's
and
it.
done. Come on.
Paying homage to the talk, not only the boys but the girls, and we're loving what's happening with women's football in Australia at the moment. We go to Cranbourne.
The girls have got onto one here.
They have.
It's a bit tricky because you miss the launch.
So Hayley Wilds has the kicking duty.
But you
where's
see
she?
the pack forming, and it clears the pack. Watch this; it's fascinating.
So there's the
the pack. And
there's
look, oh no! It's come in with heat on it. It's cleared the pack. Where would you rate that?
Pretty low. No, only like I'm no cinematographer, but I need to see the person actually kick the ball.
Is that a prerequisite for winning Torp of the Week or
You
not?
not see the player kick the ball?
No, you don't.
You
no,
don't?
you don't. Not in my Torp of the Week, you don't,
why?
mate. That is perfect. We saw where that ball landed. I'd like to know how long that
Do you,
was.
do you need to, therefore, that's one rule, you don't have to see the person
What, do
kicking
they
the ball.
need?
No, you don't.
Do they even need to be Torps?
Do you need to...
They need to be a Torp, mate. If you're not going to take it seriously, sit there and be quiet.
Do you need to...
While we do it.
Do you need to kick the Torp in a game?
No, you don't.
Okay, well, let's go to...
Sometimes it's just for the sheer love of the torpedo.
James Rook in Deniliquin, he sent one through. He just decided he loves the Torp and wanted to have his moment with himself.
If you're in the forest and kick a Torp and no one sees it, is it still a Torp?
Sorry, but that's not even in a game.
Righto.
It doesn't have to be in a game.
So, dates.
Does it have to be with a football?
Hashtag
What?
Whose competition? It's mine. They're all valid.
Sorry.
Hashtag front bar Torp. We want to have them sent. We're celebrating the Torp and we want you to send yours through. Dates out of
Hard to
those
choose
three.
dates.
Well, for pure distance, I like the girls.
Thank you. There we go. That's going straight in, Dates. Straight in, into the final.
You have lost control of your own segment, by the way.
Hayley Wilds, you are the winner for the Torp.
Well done, Hayley.
For round.
Keep them coming in.
Dates, stick around. We're going to get back
Straight
to
off
you.
the
You're going to join us
boot.
here a bit later on when we come back to the break
Got
here
nothing to do
on the front bar. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. Chris Judd to join us next.
Judd.
Hey. Welcome back to the front bar. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. Peter Dacre still over behind the bar. Chris Judd joins us yet again on the show. Everybody, make him welcome.
Juddy, I have to ask off the top. I know you live down Brighton Way, and I wanted to know about this young boy, this footballer who was doing a recovery down there in the bay. He went to the Brighton beach and he's come out and he's been attacked by lice. You've done many recovery down there. Would you go back into the water down there?
Absolutely. I mean, I've got property down in Brighton, and that's just a flesh wound. It's a media beat-up. It's a beautiful suburb, and it's a beautiful beach down there.
The guy's been attacked. I think the kid's in a wheelchair as we speak. Is he not?
He'll gradually get used to those legs again.
It's a great... It's not a great advertisement for this country, is it, overseas? Did you notice that? Because we've got crocodiles, we've got sharks, we've got spiders, we've got snakes, and now apparently you can't go in the bay because the lice will kill you.
It's about time we send Mick Fanning down there. I think he'd probably do the job, I would have thought, Andy.
Hey, Juddy, you're moving.
Punching lice. Is that what you say?
Yeah.
Punching lice in the face. That's Lice!
You're not the coolest lifesaver, are you? If you run down the beach screaming to people on the beach, get out of the water, there's lice. That's not what you jump on Baywatch to do, is
I'm
it?
just saying, there needs to be a cull.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Mick.
Yeah, good.
Juddy, you wrote a column, and it's a column worth reading in the Fairfax media this week on tackling, and it's not hard to see why, because it's been talked about off the back of the Brodie Grundy tackle on Ben Brown, of course, and you make a lot of points in it, and you talk about it being one of the skills that's really improved in the game, the skill of tackle.
What's your thesis?
It is the biggest change in our game. You know, when I first started playing footy, there were only 3 guys in each team that could actually tackle properly, and they were usually the blokes that couldn't kick, so they had to do something. But
They had to bring something to the table.
That's right.
That was the tacklers.
But everyone tackles, almost in a rugby league sort of style now, and it's a skill that's just
everyone does
improved
it.
in leaps and bounds.
It's like forwards now tackle. Like forwards just used to wait on the end of a hanger or something, and now they're all required to keep
It's
the
almost
ball
more
trapped
important
in.
than their goals now, the forwards.
So, just on that one, do you think, before we now know what happened to Brodie Grundy, did you think that was a good tackle when you first saw it?
I thought it was a good tackle, but I can understand the AFL's position that if a player gets knocked out, they've got to do something to try and change that behaviour.
I think the rule now actually states that you have to take them gently to the ground and put a pillow under their head as part of the tackle. Is that right?
I think so.
Dates, just before we move on, how many tackles... I mean, we can keep stats on everything. How many tackles did you lay in your career? 250 games. Did you actually lay a tackle at any stage?
Well, you don't lay tackles if you got the ball.
All right.
Well, think about it.
All right, shall we have a look at some tackles? Do you mind if
Absolutely.
we run some tackles by you?
You're the
Can we
expert.
do that and see what you think? And you can tell us whether these are fair or not. Let's start with this one.
Yeah, so
OK, now, this is a pitch invader, and the tackle is about to be implied by the constabulary. And, oi! Now, I get the feeling that's not the first time this guy's run from the law. Now, what is the policeman doing wrong here? Is this fair? He keeps his feet. The kid goes down. I think that's a walkman, so it must be early 80s. And, oh, no!
the tackle, Juddy.
And got him.
Yeah,
Takes
Juddy.
Is that fair? What's your thoughts?
Takes him to ground, doesn't pin the arms. All clear.
All clear?
All clear.
OK, that's a good tackle. All right, let's have a look at the next one.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, now this is a famous incident. This is 1993. Who is that?
Darren Holmes.
Darren Holmes has tackled that pig. Now, in my opinion, you must protect the snout. Has that been properly executed, that for you?
He pins the trotter, snouts it. It's no good.
It's no good.
That
All right, we're putting a line through
When was that? Was in the 90s. Can I take you back to the early 70s here? And Phil Carman's tackle here, Juddy. What do you think of this? Is it a perfect tackle or not? I think that's Juddy.
It's good. That's good, clean tackle.
That's good. Good clean tackle, which is surprising for the era, really. I thought the manscaping came in much later than the 70s myself. And this is a more contentious one. Is this fair or unfair? I'm not sure. Oh, Juddy.
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 Oh!
Pin the arm, didn't take him to ground. No problem.
All right. Hey, we want to ask you about staging. Now,
Yeah.
this is what part of the game is this? Is this is diving now a subgroup of staging which has become popular? Would you like to stamp this out?
It's something that's crept into the game, hasn't it, the last
Yeah.
last year or two? And Papley's probably leading the charge from the Swans.
Papley, we're naming names.
Well, we have to. We've seen a couple of
weeks in a
incidents
row,
here.
yeah.
He's going
Who's
for the
this?
hat trick this week.
And he's taken out an all-star champion there.
Whose name you don't know.
And then he goes down for the Mitch Duncan one. He gets a week. So that's back-to-back scalps Tommy Papley's got for incidents that don't appear to have too much.
No, I mean, the bad news is Hodge and Duncan missed weeks of that, but the good news is Australia's found a replacement for Matthew Mitchell on the 5-metre springboard. There's swings and roundabouts.
Do you think we need to actually make more of, should we
Well,
like a stager
what's your theory about it?
We should have a stager of the week or something. I think staging is we used to have diving, which used to be to get a free kick in the forward line, and now I think that it's so subjective, the umpiring, that everyone, including the crowd and the players, know that if they get involved enough, they may be able to talk an umpire into giving them a free kick. So rather than getting a ball or concentrating on the baskets, they're actually trying to crowbar a free kick out of the umpire,
What do you
who
think?
they know is vulnerable to it.
Are you talking about Torp of the Week, Stage of the Week, on the one show? Is that what you're
Imagine.
Do
thinking?
you want to come into the stage of the week? We will do it. I love it. Do you think it needs to be reined in?
Well, there have been some good ones. I think if you're going to do it, you've got to really go hard. I mean, I think my favourite one was an ex-teammate of mine.
Who was it? Oh, Jared
Waite. Taking
Okay.
here.
All right, here we go.
Little kick in the chest.
What?
And that got brought up at training.
Did it get-
Every training session for about 6 months, that got brought up. People were going down and grabbing their nose and popping it up.
So I remember that. And at the time in the football world, there was outrage, Juddy, and even in the club, it was like, mate, what are you doing?
We had to have words on that. Yeah.
I want to ask you about retiring players because this is incredible this week. This year, there's been more retiring champions than ever. Following up with Joe Watson, who announced yesterday
He did.
and Stevie J today.
And Job talked about, a contemporary of yours, of course, talked about his relationship with football and the way that has changed post the drug saga at the Essendon Football Club. And this is a bit of what Joe Watson had to say.
It's a little bit like, you're in a relationship and partners, cheats on you or something like that. You might get back together, you probably don't love her the same way, that's a little bit how I feel about it. I love the game, but it doesn't feel the same to me as what it did, yeah.
It's easy to understand why Joe Watson feels that way. How should we remember the contribution that he's made to footy, Juddy?
Just as a champion of the game. And a ripping bloke, and you just don't see the amount of love that his teammates have for him. Not many players in the comp ever get to that sort of stage, so he's been a gun.
And everyone's great when it's up and sailing and it's all going well, but when that club was struggling and on the ropes, I thought the leadership he provided to that club will never be fully understood, except, as you say, mate, by the group of people in that very close circle.
That's a really good point.
Great person.
Retirees.
Yes, absolutely.
Speaking of retirees, it's a good thing. These two,
You've got to start coming to rehearsal. You really do. You've got to start.
These two both, of course, retired and had laps of honour, by the way. And I'm talking, the Dakes. I don't know if you remember it's a very special day,
I love this.
I love it too, because times have changed. Because you went in full kit, Dave, which is, do you remember that day, mate? Obviously, very well.
Oh, yeah, I do.
This is MCG full of adoring fans. These scenes are fantastic.
Of course, you didn't know there was a lap of honour. That's how you go to games anyway, Dave.
I mean, Mick uses the word adore.
And by the way, you should give that kid back at some stage. I'm not entirely sure.
That's not your kid.
The adulation dates that you feel from that, I mean, it's a packed house and a beautiful day. Can you remember the sense of love that was coming back from the other side of the fence to you?
Oh, no, you do. I mean, and they couldn't have picked a better occasion. I mean, Collingwood Carlton and look, they fitted me out and actually gave me a tighter pair of shorts to make me look like I was retired. No, it was a great day, and I remember as I was going around, I wasn't actually allowed to take my little girl around, but my wife threw her over the fence to me, and away we went, which then probably set a bit of a precedent for other players and that to take their kids out. I don't know, but it was. It's something, and that's actually the only photo I sort of have up at home, sort of that
beautiful.
lap, which is great.
And of course, compared to your lap of honour, which wasn't in the kit and it wasn't walked, but it was taken in the back of something that looked a lot like a Pope-mobile. As you did a lap around the ground.
It would have been nice if Hyundai had a U-Tour converter. The sunroof worked.
The sunroof worked, and off you went.
What a man of the people you are there, right?
Speaking,
you drove out of the ground and home like that.
Speaking of being a man of the people, I mean, the focus shifts, of course, once you stop playing and post laps of honour. And we had this beautiful photo of you and your young fella going to the footy in the train, which is to be applauded and admired.
That's great. Is that the first game of football you've been to?
No, he's been to a few. He mostly ends up going to President's Function or boxes. So when we do go to the Adder at half-time, he's asking for the scones and jam. Hasn't quite worked out that not everyone tackles into them at half-time.
I remember the first. It's a load of fun taking your children to the footy for the first time. The first time I took my twin boys, friendly to the footy, it was a Richmond-Hawthorn game, and we sat right down the front. And from the time we got there, they just wanted to ride the lifts. Can we go ride the lifts, Daddy? Can we go ride the lifts? I said, no, this will be good. Anyway, at quarter time, we were down by about 30 points. And just after quarter time, the ball was in our back line and a fullback was kicking it out from defence, kicked it to the man on the mark, who grabbed it and kicked a goal. I said, come on, boys, let's go ride the lifts. But it's an interesting dynamic.
Well, but it raised the whole question of parenting and parenting at the footy, and it's a very important
So
topic.
we look at some examples, and you can tell us if you think this is good parenting. Here's the first one. Look, he's giving his baby a bottle there, and
great parenting.
It's a night game, so I think that's mid-strength, that milk. I think, but then
it's a big tick.
We've all wanted that kind of treatment late in the last quarter. So that's a tick. What about this one? Let's have a look. This is another dead. Now, I would like to think this is great parenting to date. He's got his daughter with him, and he's
that looks good to me.
Having a laugh.
Where does it go wrong, Mickey?
Well, round about here. I'm not sure if that's entirely...
Do you think good or not good?
50-50.
50-50. I look forward to hearing your angle on this, because this could come down either way, really.
Such a fine line.
It's such a fine line. But this starts off as great parenting. Have a look at the guy in the back with his young child. He's a great day, great with the kids, and Let's have a look in slow-mo. Oh, the kid's gone there. And whoa! So, luckily, he stuck the foot out and saved the day. I would say right now he's getting a pat on the back from his wife and mother who's saying, well done.
So, suboptimal, I think, was the...
Probably suboptimal. He called the soccer ball.
Yeah.
So.
There you go. It's a wonderful thing. Great to see families of the footy enjoying themselves.
It's a lot of fun.
Thanks for coming in, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Jody, ladies and gentlemen.
Chris Judd joining us here on the front. Peter Dacos is still over there. He's going to come and join us here on the other side of the break. Back with more after this. Welcome back to the front. Great to have you with us this Thursday night. Great to have Peter Dacos over here. Great to have Chris Judd with us before that. 1990, Dakes, it's the thing that I imagine you get asked about, the year and winning and the breaking of the drought that you get asked about more than anything else. When you are asked to go back there, how happy are the memories that come flooding back for you?
Oh, well, it's the only year you sort of, do recall. I mean, I always sort of use the example. It doesn't matter where I go these days. It's constantly sort of brought up, regurgitated, The other week I was in Coles, just wanted to get in, get my groceries, get out, and the lady started telling me how it saved her marriage. Her husband didn't come home for 3 weeks, so it's constantly relived.
Made you kick a packet of Sandboy crackers around the corner. 111 for all 6.
There's your 2 goals in the grand final, Dates. They were unbelievable. In a very low-scoring game, Murray. They were pretty important. And can I ask, just because he was on the show last week, Dates, because this grand final came towards the end of your career, did you genuinely think you were ever going to get there? And how important was your coach, Lee Matthews, coming on board?
Well, I played in 5 grand finals by the time I was 20 years of age. That was 1981, and that was a mix of under-19s, night grand finals, day grand finals. Lost them all. It wasn't another 9 years till we got the chance again. And so... And Lee Matthews turned it around. I mean, clearly, I think 86 when he took over, we'd won 1 out of 6, and then we proceeded to just miss out on finals, and he proceeded to sack 30 players. So he then blooded some kids, and 4 years later we're in a grand final and winning it.
Yeah. So the scenes, you win it. The scenes after Dakes I know you were part of this, Pangy. You sort of jumped on board. You were around the footy club at the time, but they weren't. He was. My word, he was.
We'll get to that.
There's a story to tell.
Yeah, there I am there.
The players getting back to Victoria Park. Can you remember?
It's like a meeting of Mensa, isn't it? The Collingwood rank and file really are in a world of their own. It's a kind of not quite right work.
Remember how big it was? Look at that. I mean, that kid should be in bed. Dakes, can you remember how big it was?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there would have been 30,000. I think, not exaggerating, there would have been 30,000 there. So on the night, Saturday night. So yeah, no, it was huge, and it's constantly sort of relived. Yeah.
I reckon people forget about how big a moment it was. The Collywobbles were gone, and the drought was over, and it had Collingwood fans calling for the day to be officially recognised.
There couldn't be anything better than a public holiday for Collingwood. It's marvellous.
It should be. It's a public holiday for eternity, mate.
For eternity?
Eternity, mate.
What about a sickie? You going to have a sickie tomorrow?
I have a sickie for the next fortnight.
Thanks,
it's gold, yeah.
You can't, just to point out, I don't want to rain on someone's parade, but you can't take a sickie if you don't have a job. I think people forget, Dakes. I think people forget how big a moment it was.
So let me ask you a serious question. I know you're a bit biased with all this, but with 37 years since your beloveds have won a flag, if Richmond win it this year, will the celebrations for Richmond breaking their drought be bigger than Collingwood's?
Yes, it will, because we're the biggest Victorian club by a mile at the moment. And it'll be great. Thank you. And you mentioned those lost grand finals. One of them was in 1980 against Richmond. We've got some footage. Oh, wait, we don't know. Well, I bought it in. I bought it in. It's my old VHS copy. I can tell exactly how you went that day. Yeah. We mentioned 1990. What a big year! The grand final, the Brownlow was also a big year that year. Your hairstyle was amazing. We haven't edited this. Have a look at this camera roll. That's takes Greg Anderson. And
Michael Richardson. And here we go. Let's put it home. Terry Wallace. Or is that Crockett from Miami Vice? I'm not sure. You're looking back at that now. Are you happy with your choices, Dakes?
I thought I was going right, but in reflection, maybe not. But yeah, look, it was what it was for the time, and you know, so be it.
I remember, of course, I watched your whole career, Dakes, and I remember you're a skillful on ball and you could do everything. But towards the end, you went up forward. So they all just won out in the square, and there was a last week I think was the anniversary in round 20 of 1991. We're up at Carrara.
26 years ago, it was.
You kicked 13 goals on, basically Mark Zanotti, wasn't it? It was all on, and Johnny Gastev as well. But Mick, you just wanted us to show all these, didn't you?
I wanted to show all these because I think you need to see this and understand this all happens in one game of football. Every one of these goals is out and out rolled gold. And
Dakes, you're on that night, weren't you? You were on.
Well, it helps when they're kicking the ball to you and you're sort of one out. I mean, you know, law of averages, the more times it comes in, more chance
every
you
one
got.
of these is something out of nothing. And Zanotti right now realises he's in for a rough day.
Dakes, you kicked one of the great goals in the era for footy, in the history of the game.
What's he going to do? He's going to wheel round. No!
In a moment.
There he goes!
The one where you turn a couple of...
Don't take your eye off him!
This is the one.
What is going on?
So, Johnny Gastev can't do much more. But the last three that you kick here, Dakes, are all dribblers. And
you're not happy, are you, Murray?
Well, we had Blighty on the show last week, and Blighty showed us one of the three that he kicked in 81 against Carlton was the check side, and not many players were doing that at the time. Blighty was.
Look at this. Who are you balking to there? Who are you looking at?
Were many players kicking the dribblers?
Probably not.
Yeah, doing this, right?
Pioneered this.
I mean, look, at the end of the I wasn't too far out. So,
no, but why did you...
There's another 3 goals he kicked that day, which we don't have time to show you now. But if you go to our website, 13 in the game. Mark Zanotti had a bad day. Even the fans got sucked into him. And if you have a look here, he is trying to kick out from goal. And, oh, no. I think he's letting him know he's just had 13 goals kicked on him by a Collingwood fan. Do you remember
that? Was my uncle, actually.
Oh, dear.
Anyway.
Can I ask you this, Dakes? You know, when you finished, did you almost go to Essendon? Or am I...
Yeah, almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I'd been out for a year and then sort of Sheeds was probably bored or, so he came a calling and we had a bit of a chat, which, I pretty much said to him, I'll come back out of retirement, but give me 2 weeks to decide to go back the other way. I mean, and in reflection, I was pretty comfortable sort of retiring, so... But no, he did come a calling. Yeah.
I'll tell you, it wouldn't have been comfortable if he'd gone to Essendon. Eddie Maguire, I reckon if you want to know what's going on in his head... you would have got something like that, I reckon, if you had have mentioned it to him. So, there you go.
Hey, we had a quick chat to Lee Matthews last week about playing footy at Victoria Park. It was amazing.
Do you know what he said to us? He said that he's sitting up there after the game's telling us that, and it was a terrible place to go, either as a player and as a fan, because we all went to Victoria Park. But he said they used to wait till the end of the game, and then they'd all start playing over towards the wing, so they got off the ground before the crowd ran onto it.
That's a true story.
Sydney have had a win here, Mickey, and Dakes, and that's what they got dealt with as they were coming off the ground.
And can I tell you, that's the members. that is the members at Victoria Park.
So visiting...
A police escort, when the horses are involved, it's serious.
And how silly are they, throwing full cans?
Was there a ground you were terrified to go to or had bad memories of?
Look, Windy Hill was pretty hard. I mean, I had Arden Street. I had an experience. Yes, I had an experience at the Western Oval, which we probably all have. But I remember walking to the ground and I got sort of approached by Western Bulldogs fan, and she would have been in her 70s, beautiful old lady, all the scarves, buttons, and she said, look, I hate Collingwood, but I love watching you, and can you sign? I said, no problem, darling, what's your name? And she said, Loris, whatever her name was, and I signed. Well, I go into the rooms we get spoken to by the coach. Then we're ready to run out. And that's when they had the reserves playing. And we were waiting in the race for reserves to come off. And all of a sudden, and that's when they had the open races.
Yep.
And we're getting pelted with all sorts of goodies and beer and whatnot. And I remember looking up and they were carrying on the Doggy supporters, and there was this little old lady. There's a old lady that I'd signed for, and she says, "I hate your guts, you mongrel." And I can understand it was game time. So she let me have it.
Thanks again to stick around. There's more to come on the front after this. Nick Ross coming up as well.
Mate, I'm serious, mate. I reckon
Who would you get to kick the goal for your life? Joe Danaher or Levi Casbolt?
Big Joey for sure. Joe Danaher every day of the week, mate.
Joe Danaher. Joe Danaher.
I'd be picking Joey. Danaher.
Kevin Sheedy, legend or lunatic?
Legend. Legend.
Legend.
Loons? Both.
Definitely both. The 93 grand final, Longy's goal. Did Sauce touch it?
No.
No.
No?
Yeah. Sauce touched it for sure.
It was definitely touched.
I was only 6 months at the time, but for memory, definitely did not touch it.
Essendon and Carlton both won 16 flags. Who's the first of 17?
Carlton.
Carlton.
Oh, Essendon.
Essendon?
Essendon? I think we will be. I hope so, anyway. Otherwise, I've wasted money on this 3-game membership.
The pub test, fresh from the punter's mouth.
They speak the truth, Peter Datos. How special a moment? I know you've got one of the young fellas here tonight, Dakes. How special was it when you, as a family, get to see one of your children drafted into the game at the club that you know so very, very well?
Oh, well, I mean, it was just... it's a great experience.
Look at that.
Is his balked you there?
Yeah.
That's beautiful,
I'd be
mate.
kissing his mum too. Look, I think the thing is, as a parent, I mean, I've yet to meet a man that wasn't happy about life with his kids being happy, and that's what he'd wanted to do, and that's what he set out to do. And we know, and he was fully aware, we were all aware of just how hard, you know, sort of how many limited positions there are, so it was fantastic.
But it's, yeah, I'm sure you had the same feeling that day with your boys when you're riding the lifts.
That's right. Well, OK, well, since you want to be smart about it, can I ask, Dakes, you were at the club at the same time as the Orchid, who I think was in the under-19s at the time. Do you remember 1991, he was around, do you remember him floating around the club?
Oh, yeah, podiatrist.
Listen.
No, boot room.
He was Orchid was his nickname. Why did they call you the Orchid? I can't remember. What was it?
I was called the Orchid because I needed absolutely perfect conditions to thrive. but that's...
Hang on. But did you not in 91 play in a grand final for Collingwood?
No, it was the last year of the... I can't believe we're wasting time. But, Dakes, you remember, the last year of the under-19s was 1991. Collingwood, we played in the grand final that year against a Dennis Pagan coached North Melbourne. No, I didn't play. I was in the squad, and I remember I asked the coach Keith Burns, mate, why aren't I playing? And he said, look, we're thinking if it's a draw, you'll be fresh for the replay. So that's what I thought was. He had big picture plans, mate. Big picture plans.
All right.
On that note, it's time for Mick's multi.
I've got a real good feeling about this one. You want to get on at all cost. Here we go. First leg. Have a look at this. Brendan Bolton, very angry after last week's loss. Have a look at him going cocoa bananas in the box here. I'll have a guess and say Levi Casbolt's just had a shot for goal, maybe. I'd like to wager that he can never return to the happier times when he was a younger man, a simpler man, after just one game as coach.
How good is it to coach your own side? Oh, yeah, we're up in the box, you know, will you do this, won't we do that? And thanks, guys. Cheers.
Cut to this guy here. Can I have that bet?
No, you can't have that bet. No. And I'm dirtying up about that, but you can't have it. But I'll tell you what you can have. I don't like this either. You can have the Eagles to beat the Blues by 40
Easy peasy. I can't wait for that one. Lock it in. OK, here we go. Leg 2. Have a look at this bloke in the Hydrojet pack. Have a look. Seriously, what could go wrong? And hello, girls. Here I am.
You acts like that.
I'd like to wager that next time that guy takes the stairs.
No, Mick, you can't have that. But how about you take the Melbourne Storm to beat the Sydney Roosters in the NRL and I'll give you $1.38.
Bang! Couldn't be happier. If you like that one, Dakes, you're going to love this one. Check out this bloke atop the tree. What could go wrong again? Oopsie. And bang. Bang. I would like to wager that guy's related to Greg Louganis.
No, we're not going to take that bet at Sportsbet. But how about we give you the opportunity to get on race 4, number 10, Tarzan, to win a Doomben, and I'll give you $26.
Oh, $26? Oh, I got a very good feeling about this one. You'd be mad not to get on, and here we go, the final leg. Check out this bloke. Yes! I'd like to freeze that. I would like to wager that right there, that bloke is measuring the margin by which Richmond will win the premiership this year on grand final day. Can I have it?
I'd like to know what your special other was looking at going straight past you there. There was something out of screen that had caught her fancy, I think.
Again, can I have the bet?
No, I don't think you can. I don't think you can because you might have some issues. How about for the last leg, you take the Tigers to beat the Cats by 40 plus
All right,
and I'll give you $5. What do you
Bag it up. What do we got? 377. You've got to get involved.
You've got to have a go at that. You've got to do it responsibly. Jump on Mixed Multi at the Sportsbet app. Look for Mixed Multi under Megabets. And as I said, you do it responsibly.
Too easy.
Dave, it's been a joy having you in. It really has, mate. Thanks for coming in and being part of it all.
Good on you, Dave.
Peter Dacos joining us here on the front bar. What a superstar and a legend he was. We're going to get a break out of the way when we come back to last shout on the other side of this. Welcome back to the front bar. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft and up on tap beer in Australia. Round 21 is almost upon us. It kicks off tomorrow night with a fantastic game of footy. You'll see it here on Channel 7. The Western Bulldogs with the GWS Giants. Some big ins. Stringer, Pat and Green come in for their respective sides. Your man, Jack Riewoldt,
is back. He's blind, but we've still nailed him.
For the big game down
That's the best way to travel to Geelong, by the way.
Big games. Obviously, the Melbourne St Kilda game's huge. Nick Riewoldt, in case you have not heard, has failed a concussion test today and won't be taking his part in the game against Melbourne and St Kilda, which is a big blow for St Kilda. That is a virtual elimination final. So I'd like to look forward to this week.
A year for retirees. I put it to you, is this the greatest group alumni of people retiring in the 1 year? You've got
some crackers.
Matt Boyd, Hodge, Riewoldt, Mitchell, Priddis, Scott Thompson. This week, Stevie J and Job. Is there another year you can think of?
No, this rivals any year as a collective where the group stands head and shoulders above, I reckon.
The grand final motorcade is going to be busy, isn't it? The traffic inside the ground will be worse than the traffic outside the ground. But I think Job Watson, I just wanted to just say cheers to Job Watson, but also because people are worried. Cheers, Job. Yep. Well done. Of course, you always worry about players post-career, what they're going to go into, but Job, I think, is going back to New York and he's got a cafe over there, so he's going to be fine.
I will be heading back to New York. We actually we got rated the 4th best brunch spot in Manhattan, and I'm...
That's great. No, it's great. I just hope, though, that for the sake of everyone, that cafe is not named the #1 brunch spot in Manhattan and then it's taken away from him. That would be a sad way to finish. That's all I'm saying. I love Joe Watson. I love him.
To you, Dennis.
Well done, Joe. What do you got?
To you, Dennis Armfield as well.
Dennis
What,
Dennis Armfield?
Made a great contribution.
Is he still playing?
On and off the field, Dennis, you've been a great
All right, well done. And can I mention Stevie J, who's entertained us, I think, for 270, 90 odd games.
Announced
his retirement today. What will you remember?
He's just his general combative combativeness and knowing how to get into the face of the opposition and upset them and get their mind off the game. He was magnificent.
I remember a magnificent story of a man who was, wavering and straightened up and played in three premierships.
What about you?
Well, I'm disappointed because I think the nipple cripple might finally be lost to the game and go out. He was the master. Have a look at that. No!
It's gone. What are you saying?
To Stevie J and the nipple cripple.
Well done.
Let's hope it lives on.
I believe he got a free kick paid against him for a nipple cripple. What is that umpire thinking? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Should have got one.
Hey, just a couple of things before we tidy up. We've got a couple of members of the European Crusaders.
The Crusaders, the international. There they are.
Right, they're out.
They've got their flag up the back.
They haven't scored in the tournament yet.
That's all right.
But
I've got a good feeling.
They will. Thanks for coming and being part of it.
Keep at it.
And the good folk at the Good Life Health Club allowed you to do yours.
To play squash in.
Yeah, indeed. So it was great to have them.
Next week, a big show, Styx and Santo Cialaro on the same show. So we're going to have an absolute ball. We've had a ripper. You guys have been great tonight.
Thanks for watching. We're just about done and dusted here.
We're going to go and watch the last half hour of the footy show now.